Eric, we all know Drew's been through an awful lot to get back to where he is. That one possession, the fourth, two offensive rebounds, then gets rewarded with the corner three. Just how big of a moment do you think that was?
Yeah, sometimes you have these full circle moments. About a year ago in Cleveland, and he was just starting to play well then. I think if he would have had the whole season, I'm not saying that for any kind of regret or anything like that, but he would have trended in a fantastic way. But he really worked at it this off season. Didn't skip any steps and came back earlier, and then to have that kind of impact for the win, and that's what he does. When you classify winning plays, it's tough to define it because sometimes it is an offensive rebound, sometimes it's a cut, sometimes it's a deflection, a steal, a stop, a rotation. Sometimes they show up in a box score. A lot of times they don't. That was a possession where anybody could notice, hey, that was winning basketball right there. 2 offensive rebounds, then you hit the corner 3. But he does, so many of those kind of things that probably most people don't see, but they do impact winning. So it was gratifying, I'm sure, for him to have that kind of moment against Cleveland and be able to help us win.
You talked before the game about consistency. What did you like about the way you're able to sustain such a high level of play on both ends of the court for most of the game?
Well, you're playing against a very good team, obviously. The team with the best record. I know Mobley being out, that changes things, but you have to be able to sustain a high level of basketball on both ends of the court. If they didn't hit those 2 threes at the end, you're holding them under 110. And then, scoring 120 plus against a really good defense, that means you have a lot of intentional things, going on. And you're not just doing it in spurts. So it was a consistent game. We were able to sustain it and earn the win, which the guys feel good about the last 48 hours.
I know it might be overstated, a statement win, but considering where they are and considering what you've done in showing the growth, like you said recently, the Lakers game, the Suns game, do you sort of consider this somewhat of a statement that at this level, at this time of year?
Not necessarily a statement. I don't think anybody in the league is going to even acknowledge, what we did the last 24 hours, 48 hours. But you want your team to see the possibilities, with that type of, intentional play and doing things to our identity more often than not. That doesn't mean it's always going to end up like perfect. It just puts yourself in a best position to win, and then you want to build on that. So I think the locker room, sees, the possibilities, with this team. We just have to keep on going.
Beal, Booker, and now Mitchell all had pretty rough shooting nights. I'm sure you don't want to take all the credit for that, but what is clicking with the defense to kind of hinder that guard play?
Yeah, I don't want us to take credit for that because, no, those guys are so ignitable. It could have been, an off night for them. Mitchell had a lot of looks, when I was watching a bunch of the film yesterday, that he's knocking down a bunch of those. You have to, do things consistently to your identity over and over and over and over, and that gives you the best percentage chance of winning games. And I think they felt us, tonight. There was a presence on the ball, presence with our switches, presence at the rim, in the paint, contesting, certainly with our rebounding. And then, it helps if a guy has an off night. That's part of it.
Tyler had the 5 buckets in the paint, 9 free throw attempts. How much is the threat of just his 3-point shot kind of opening up the other layers of his offensive game?
Our layers. Yeah. That's where it's helping us. It's the playmaking, it's the catch and goes. He had a couple of those. One where Duncan dropped it, the other one where he knocked it down. That's scrambling, and you're trying to get him off the line. He has the ability to play make, which he's really improved on that aspect the last 2 years. So he's just putting a lot of this together and reading the defense, reading what's being made available. and really being that threat. Really being a guy that teams have to. You got to spend some time trying to scheme against him. You do that at a certain level, that helps your offense. No matter what, whether you're shooting or getting off the ball or teams are overreacting to something.
Last question.
The thought, Thomas Bryant, was Kevin hurt? Was it the back-to-back? Your thought on going with Thomas Bryant?
No, and that's tough. Sometimes these are matchup things, and I really commend TB for staying ready. This guy really works behind the scenes, and it's not easy, but that's what a team is for. You can only play 5 guys at a time. You only play a rotation of 9 or 10, but you have a roster of 17. So when you tell young players to be professional and stay ready, boy, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of manpower being wasted around the league trying to find guys that can embrace a role, and TB has embraced it, and we needed him tonight. We really did. The way they're shifting us and moving us around is not an indictment on K Love at all. It's just that what they do was, for this particular night, was kind of getting us scrambled. So we went a different way, and TB gave us a spark. We were able to stabilize, and then when they went super small, we were able to bring back Bam, and be able to finish this off. But I really appreciate, TB. All right, thank you.